Okay, so I've got my paper here. I'm trying to position this so you just can see as much of the paper as possible and not all my clutter over here. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is work on drawing the eye. And I'm going to grab my All right, as you draw the eye, if you are in person, you can use a mirror. You can also use the packet that I handed out. If you are at home, I'd like you to try to use the mirror or your phone or something like that. So if you're in class, you can kind of look at this packet and try to copy some of the eyes that you see here, or as I said, you can look at your own eye. All right. So as you start to draw the eye, again, you can draw it anywhere on the page. I don't know how to get rid of this little thing here. Oh, there we go. Great. The eye is it is an almond shape. So, and as I said yesterday, you can fit about one eye between the eyes. So it's an angular almond shape with a fold of skin on the top for your tear duct. So as you're drawing the eye, you can start out kind of drawing that angular almond shape and make sure you leave room for the tear duct. Oh, this is coming out backwards. How do I fix this? There we go. The top lid is typically thicker than most people draw it. So you can make like a line to suggest the top of your lid. If you're, again, at home or even in the classroom, you can try to look in the mirror to show your eye. I'm just looking at my packet right now. It's too hard with this mask on. Or you can look at the packet. So you can make a line to suggest the top lid and even a soft line to show the bottom lid. The iris is the colored part of our eye. And if you look at your eye, the iris takes up about a third of the eye, and it's also covered up quite a bit. So you really don't typically see your entire iris. So the iris, again, is that colored part of the eye. So I'm making the iris of the eye. And then the pupil is always centered. Even if you're looking to the side, your pupil is always going to be centered in the iris. And typically there is some kind of highlight, reflection in the pupil. One thing that I showed in my other drawing, where did it go here? So this is what I see a lot of, this is an exaggeration of course, but this is something that I see a lot of times when people are making the eye, is they make it way too wide, and then they show the iris is floating around in there. Okay, I don't know very many people where I can see that much white of their eye. That's very unnatural. So really pay attention, look at your eye in the mirror and see how much of it you can see. It's unlikely you're seeing that much white of it. The lid actually covers up quite a bit. And I honestly think I made this a little bit big. So I can go in and pull this lid down a little bit more even. If you were to look closely at your eye too, you would see that the eyeball is housed within the lid, and then the tear duct is sort of its own little entity, right? This isn't actually, your eyeball doesn't actually go into here. This is your tear duct that produces tears, and it's a little bit pink, so it's a little bit tinged. It's a slightly different color than the eyeball itself, right? The other thing I want to mention is eyelashes. That's another thing I see people going crazy with. So oftentimes when you see like little kids make eyelashes, right? Or those of us who maybe haven't drawn as much, is you people make the eyelashes like going every which way. And that's just simply not the case. If you look at these eyes that I've drawn, the eyelashes follow a direction, right? They tend to curve a little bit, and when you're looking head on at someone, they sort of go off to the side a little bit. And you don't see individual eyelashes. Typically, you've seen a tone, or you can kind of see that it's darker, and you see a little bit of texture, but you don't see every single eyelash. So when I'm drawing eyelashes, I feel like I need to be looking in a mirror because it's really hard doing this without actually looking at myself. This is the first year I've had to teach portraiture without being able to really see myself fully, and it's a bit tricky. So I'm setting up my mirror, and as I'm drawing my eyelashes, I'm drawing them at an angle. I'm making short, we call this like a feathered mark, and then they kind of peter out. They get a little bit shorter as they move down the eye, right? And you also have, I don't like how much this is sticking up. You also have bottom lashes, which are shorter and tend to be a little bit softer than the top lash. And they also follow a direction. So my bottom lashes are kind of going this way. Right? And then I'm going to shade my iris. So my eyes are greenish blue, I guess. So they kind of changed colors over the years. But I'm going to shade them a medium tone. If you look closely at your iris in the mirror, it actually gets darker on the edges too. The eyes are one of the, especially the iris and the pupil, is one of the darkest things on our face. It's one of the first things people notice typically, right? When you meet someone new, is you look at their eyes. So look at how dark your iris is. It's really dark. It's black, right? I mean, not your iris, your pupil, sorry. Your iris, depending on how dark your eyes are, may be lighter or darker than mine. And see where there's a highlight in your eye, where the light is catching your eye today. Actually, my highlight, that one was earlier. My highlight's more like on my iris. Make sure you center the pupil, and then also see if it looks a little darker around the edges of your, my iris is a little darker around the edges. Do you notice any little lines in your iris? Look how dark your lashes are compared with your eye, with your iris or your pupil. So I could go back and darken up my lashes a little bit. So I want you to try drawing and shading two different eyes. It could be your two different eyes. That would be my preference, is try to draw your own two eyes. They don't have to line up with each other or be in the right spot. And shade them. And then if you don't have access to a mirror, or you're not able to see your own eyes, or it's hard in the classroom, you can always draw from a packet. But honestly, I really think looking at your own eyes is so much better than just looking at a packet. So you're doing two different eyes. Before you start your second eye, I just want to have everybody do an eyebrow with me. That's another one that I find my students like make a lot of generalizations with. So here's like what not to do with the eyebrow. You don't want to just make like the super solid chunky eyebrow. Your eyebrows also do not go up and down like this. Same, just like with the eyelashes, your eyebrow follows a direction. I'm gonna take my glasses down for a minute here. So I have I have eyebrows that are on the thicker side. I let them go a little crazy for COVID here, but one thing you can do is you could kind of draw out the shape of your eyebrow and kind of look at the location of it. Remember that it tends to kind of arch over the eye, kind of follows the eye shape. So you can kind of draw a light line to show where the eyebrow is located. And then you want to start using small marks to show the direction of the eyebrow. So your eyebrow goes this way along the eye, right? Your eyebrows don't go up and down. Maybe a few stray hairs might go up and down, right? Like my eyebrow is a little crazy today. But in general, they follow the direction of the eye. So you might have, so I have a few hairs that are kind of coming up here this way, but most of them are going this way, right? And so I'm making tiny little hairs. You're not seeing you shouldn't be able to really see the individual hairs. You should more see the shape and texture of the eyebrow. So that's what I want you guys to do. 2 eyes, 2 different eyebrows. Again, my preference is for it to be your own eyes and eyebrows. We'll work on these for a little bit. I'll go around and see where people are at. I gotta take my attendance. And then I'll move on to the nose. So the hairs on my eyebrow kind of come up, and then they kind of come down a little bit as they're following the shape of my eye. And they'll look different for everyone. We all have different shaped eyebrows, different thicknesses, different, some of you have lighter hair, darker hair. It's what makes you you. Remember, this is exercise too, so just like all of our exercises, it's meant to be practiced. I'm not looking for perfection, but I am looking for you to give it a good, I am looking for you to give it your best, I guess, and put forth effort. Keep a sharp pencil too. I think my pencil's getting a little dull. So I'm going to pop around and check in with the students in the classroom. But again, so that's what you're doing right now is 2 eyes, and try to throw 2 eyebrows in there too, okay? I'd say the eyebrow should be with the eye. I think that makes more sense versus just having an eyebrow floating on the page. So I'm going to poke around and see where everybody's at with this, and then I'm going to, I guess I should do my attendance. I am going to stop my video, or maybe I can pause it.